Today we're going to talk about your space, your place, right? Your room, and precisely how that environment shapes how you think. You should make the space the way you like and you will see why that's valuable. And we have point number 1. Your room is programming you. Point number 1. Feng Shui is real. Feng Shui is the art of placing objects in the right place, and they will create a synergy in your room. They will bring about a peace. If you have like crystals or you arrange the bed in a certain way, it will generate a certain energy. There is a good book written on this and it's called Feng Shui Your Life. I highly recommend you read to see how to properly do your room, to be energetically charged and to bring about the success in your life of any nature. For example, you can put pictures of the great people of history so they can inspire you. I'm talking about people like Elon Musk or Lincoln. They have a crazy energy even in pictures. So the point here being, read that book, Feng Shui Your Life. Point number 2, always keep tidy. Clean weekly and do a fast clean. Bro, it takes a few minutes to wipe the dust on your thingies. Just a few sprays and a quick wash, man. You can clean your space and have it smell nice. It will change the way you think, the way you feel in that place. And if you bring people over, they will feel the difference. They will not want to go away because you created a sanctuary for yourself. Point number 3 here is have quotes and also have a vision board. You want to have success and inspiring quotes on your walls, but be selective. You can even have something on your ceiling, something to remind you of something deep for you. It's basically like a tattoo where you can remove it, you can change it. It will stay there whenever you wake up and you look at the ceiling. Well, if you don't look at the ceiling, you'll still be forced to see when you go to sleep, because believe me or not, when you put it there, you will want to look at it. This is what the mind does. It will grab your attention and you'll contemplate on that word, no matter how many times you see it. So please stick on your ceiling a word of power for you. Find that word of power, something inspiring for you, something that has really touched how you feel and something really meaningful to you. And on this point also, you want to have a vision board, goals and places you want to see, visits and things you want to own. Get pictures. You can get also small figurines or toys or metal die-cast cars or whatever, and you can place them on that vision board or on your desk to remind you of why you're hustling, of why you're striving, of why you're waking up in the morning, and it works. Whenever you see them, it will remind you of the fact that you must get your ass back to work. So whatever the thing you want to have, be or do is, just buy a physical representation of that thing itself, because you can buy it. And every day, look at it. Just look at it. It will be like food for your mind. You will grow towards that direction. Part number 2, design yourself a sanctuary. This is my favorite because you can have a custom space designed by you for yourself, and you can make it precisely to be on your taste. Point number 1 here being lights. You want to have LEDs for vibe and different combinations of light. So you want to have multiple lights for various scenarios. You want to train your mind to behave and to know when the time has come to focus or just to have fun, like for gaming or music production or even for writing. Right now I have LEDs around me, but you can't see them. They just help me focus in a way. But you gotta train this. You train that in your mind with repetition. Different colors will be linked to different scenarios, different vibes. And you wanna train this as fast as possible. The younger you are, the better it is. You will simplify your life, especially how the brain works and links activities. And number 2, sound. You want a natural vibe. You either have forest, rain sounds, or soft music playing at all times. Aim for this, especially during the day, but don't do it when you meditate because you don't want to be dependent. You don't want to train your brain unless it's alpha waves or binaural beats where you can really focus and hemisync. I mean, like basically sync your brain hemispheres to drop the brain wave, to go deeper into the trance. So you want to try and play with this. There are loads of YouTube videos. You can get a uBlock Origin extension for Chrome. So you basically have like 8 hours of non-stop forest sounds. You will create a different vibe, especially if you combine it with point number 3, which is smell. You want to have something tropical, forest, or anything that you like. Something that smells really nice to you and that your brain responds positively. How do you know your brain responds positively? Is by the way you feel, bro. Because if you feel good, your brain feels good. And your brain will help you with a dopamine, achieve more work and get more work done. So really focus on this. It's a very key aspect. Look, at this point, the foundation of everything I'm talking about here has as foundation the best money can buy. So in everything I'm talking about here, LEDs, sound, the smell, have the best of the best money can buy. Literally. Don't go cheap on this because it's the space you spend your most time in. So go premium. Don't be on budget here, bro. It's the place you hang out daily. You want to be selective with this. You want to be strict. Be picky. Choose the best of the best because you want to condition your mind and program your mind, and you want to have your base properly built to be a place where you can retract at night and go into a different world. You can definitely do that. So you want to achieve this place. You can definitely do it. Number 4, a place where you plan and build. I call it my command center. This command center has a notebook on it and a book. And a few pens of various colors. I read the book one page at a time daily. I take various books every few months and I read from them slowly, and I underline and I try to understand and apply and digest the information I read. So you want to have this command center where you plan and build. You're not allowed a laptop in there. You're only allowed a notebook. Why a notebook? Because your brain responds differently when you write down things. Your motoric action. We're talking about how much you involve the brain in a physical process to properly understand what it does and to actually get out of you into physical expression. Your thinking on paper. Jim Rohn is a specialist in this. Well, he was, but his lessons are still there. Always carry a notebook, he said. Always. Never rely on your memory. So always have one with you. Always write down things in your notebook and make sure you revise them. Have an agenda, with other words. But also what I'm aiming for here with you, have your place, your command center, a place where you go and you sit down and talk to yourself. Having AI on one side helping you and helping you improving your thinking, that's a different story, but you can definitely have it. But just make sure in this place, there are no phones allowed, no laptop, no nothing. Just you, books, and a notebook. That's it. It's literally a table. I've got this from Earl Nightingale, Bob Proctor, and many more across the history I've studied. And they came up with the best ideas when they actually sat down and actually dig for these. Because you can't find something if you don't put yourself in the position to actually find it. Point number 3, have rules of the place. You need to be selective here. Just what I said earlier, a bit earlier. Point number 1, phone usage or distractions. Your phone is not allowed in certain areas of this place, bro. If you go in your bedroom, when you lie in your bed, you're not allowed to take your phone in your hand. Can you do that? Can you possibly do that? Like, I want you to be not strict with yourself, but to be in a degree of control where you can actually leave your phone and just sit with yourself. Sit by yourself. Can you actually do that? Because if you can achieve this, then you're allowed the phone in your bed. But until you can't just leave those notifications pop or even stop them altogether, then you have no self-control. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about you being controlled even in the most intimate place you are with yourself, your bed. So at least here, have your base and your mental frame. Because here, when you sit alone without the phone, you can just have the best ideas come up in your mind. They just simply pop up, bro. And you don't know from where. But make sure you ask. When you sit on your bed without the phone, make sure you ask the universe for things. Make sure you ask them plainly. Like, feel powerless and yet full of power when you ask. And you'll be given the answer. When you get no answer in a moment, simply be grateful. Be thankful. Thank the universe and just move on with your life. Next day, repeat. But just before you go to sleep. And sooner or later, you'll get a response for that. A clear and direct way will be showing itself to you. And you will know it's the right path. Next, what are the rules we need for the place? Number 2, tools always ready. Set up clean for less friction. So this point is very understandable. Just make sure you have a place where all your tools are ready and everything is there to help you print content. Or in your office, you want to have your earbuds. It's just like you go to the gym, bro. You have your belt, your gloves if you have any, or your chuck, your water bottle, what else? Your towel if you have, or whatever accessory you might have for the gym. You want to have these ready. Same with the creative work. So have your tools ready. Have your setup clean. Have everything in position for you. When you want to do something, everything is there ready for you and is waiting for you. Create shortcuts. This is what I'm saying. Create shortcuts. You want to minimize friction when you try to do stuff, especially long term, and always go premium with whatever you do. If it's gym, go premium in equipment, in the people you train with, or the technique you use, or even the degree of effort you invest in yourself. Go premium, go bold, make the most use of your time spent in there, and always have your tools ready. This is the biggest part of, minimizing friction. You don't want to trip yourself along the way. At times, of course, it's understandable. Not everything is going to be linear or smooth, but at least you can understand the process and you can get yourself ready beforehand so you can minimize the amount of friction it requires for you to achieve your greatness, whatever that might be, in any domain. Point number 3, thinking checklist. Do it on the fly and adjust. So, as a rule for the place, when you come into your bedroom or your office, there are certain rules of how you must think. Basically, it's like you take an alter ego. You take like a mask, like a persona, which is acting, basically. And I'm talking about acting of the mind, psychological acting. If I'm recording this video, I'm not playing on the phone. If you're watching this video, you're not multitasking if you want to get the greatest value from it or from anything you do. There was a book called The One Thing and Doing One Thing Only, in a way. So a thinking checklist. You want to set yourself some laws or some rules if you want to be less strict with yourself. As of when you go into that place, you're simply not allowed to think certain things or to talk certain stuff with people or with yourself, or not allowing yourself to think in certain ways. If you go into your office, you're not allowed to gossip. You're not allowed to watch news. You're not allowed to, no bro, you're there to work. You build businesses. You build yourself. When you go to the gym, you're only allowed to do certain stuff and only that. You're not multitasking. You're there to work out. So around that point, around that intention, around that thinking checklist, everything else is there to serve that intention. If you create this and you start living life with intention and you create certain rules for how you live your life, not just your places, but rather when you drive or when you ride a bike, you have certain rules for that thing, you know? Have you ever considered this? Or when you write, have you considered taking on somebody else's perspective as of the quality of this writing and the refinement of these ideas and so on? You know, you can actually, this thinking checklist again is like an alter ego. It's like a makeup for how you should be thinking about certain things when you, again, have rules of the place, when you are in that certain place. Point number 4, ensure is a place where goals and good energy is generated. I think this is the most important point, because if you have good energy, everything else doesn't need management, because good energy is the vibration behind the action, and the action will be ultimately good management. I mean, reorganizing priorities and getting things done. And we have point number 1, attention to every detail matters more than you think. And here we want to strictly have a look at a certain thing. Focus on everything being back to its place after use. You want to put everything back to its place, bro. Because if you don't do this, entropy will take place. That is, your clothes will be on the floor, your dust will be everywhere. Like, you'll bring your Hoover, like Jordan Peterson said, and you'll just leave it in the door and just every day pass over it until you will finally decide to clean your room and so on. So create as a habit, after you've used something, put it back to its place. If you see entropy starts to kick in, that is, entropy is a degree of disorder in a system, you start to bring back the order. That is, you take the Hoover if you see things are dusty or that they need some arrangement, and just simply start working on that. And just in a few minutes, you can create so much order, bro. Again, you can refresh the place back to its original peak position. And it doesn't require as much work than you think. Point number 2, ensure you can recharge, think clearly, and bring value for people. How should we go about this? We've already touched about you can recharge, think clearly, right? But what about bring value for people? What does it mean? Well, if you go into your studio, like I have mine, you want to be able to print value. The camera is already there. The lights are already set on their settings. You don't play with the cables around. You just hit record and that's it. You just have to prioritize coming up with good and fresh ideas. But there is a mechanism for that as well. Just like you have these things already in place, ready to print value, you also have systems in place to come up with that value. Not just the setup, but also the value itself, how it comes up, how it shows up, how you present it, and so on, how you package it. Here is the important bit you need to understand, because everything in nature follows function, which is point number 3. Design will always follow function. Nature always prioritizes this. You're never gonna see a function being created around a design. Why are the houses square and rectangles? Why is that? Why the houses are not round? That's my question. You will waste space, as simple as that. So the design of having a round house with round objects in it, like tables, chairs, beds, and everything, will simply waste space, right? If we have the function follow the design. But if we have the design follow the function, that is to be a streamlined choice of design to maximize space and order, then we clearly see that in the house's design, there must be squares and rectangles. And here we have a subpoint, design around priority. Because before anything looks good, it must serve a purpose. Never do it the other way around. You're going to waste time and energy. You don't want that. So craft yourself the list with priorities, and based on that, you design your life around. First, choose the lifestyle you want to live, then build the business to serve that lifestyle. You're basically reverse engineering the function, and you create your design around that. The next point we have here is never add objects that don't serve a function. Random objects are not allowed. As simple as that. Everything in there must serve a purpose. Let's say if you have a dumbbell on the floor, that's serving a purpose. It doesn't just look good. It just serves a purpose. You're using it maybe daily, or when the gym is closed, or when you need a pump before you go out. But it serves a purpose. So that dumbbell is welcomed. But if you're not using it, then it must go away. You must simply remove it. That's it. Not just out of sight, but simply out of your life. If you know you're not going to use it and you go to gym daily, then don't just keep it there. Because you trap energy. You don't want to trap energy. energy, because energy never stays trapped. Entropy will swallow everything. Time will also swallow everything. The universe is in constant motion. You pay rent on everything. Nothing is stationary. And love impermanence. So why would you want to have stuck energy around you? You don't want that ever. And this also goes with people. Same with people. If somebody doesn't want to stay in your life, just let them go. Let them go. Don't cling to old ways of being if they don't serve a function. And lastly here, it's just for you. Everything you do is just for you. You need to understand this. You're not doing it for anything else. You're not doing it for anybody else. You're doing it just for you. Not for your friends, not for your parents, not for anybody. You're doing it to serve yourself. Because if you're not good, if you don't put yourself in the first place and you suffer, then that's bad for them. Remember. So everything you do for you. And remember, have the best money can buy. This is the most important bit. Don't go short, don't go cheap, don't go with a scarcity mindset on this, especially when you invest in yourself. All right, thank you for watching, and I hope you understood something from this video. I hope this made you think about how you can better improve your space and look after yourself in a better way. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next videos. Bye.